We are Ashley, Jodie, Edie, Martha and Superdog Max. We're travelling 3,000 miles in 2 weeks to go to a Permaculture and Wellbeing Festival in Northern Portugal in our Selfbuild Campervan. We left our home city in the Midlands of the UK and headed straight down to the Channel Tunnel. We made great time late on the Saturday afternoon. There was hardly any traffic. We headed straight to the pet reception where we got Max checked in. We got straight through that and then went to have a look around the Channel Tunnel terminal. This is about the 4th or 5th time we've been through here and we couldn't believe how quiet it was. It was that quiet we even got put on an earlier crossing, which was great because it was already getting dark by the time we got into France. I think Max was just a bit unsettled and he kept jumping in and out of the bed. He wasn't quite sure what was going on, so it was a bit of a fraught first night, but it was a nice location that we'd used before in front of the mayor's office. After a long drive, driving into the night the previous day, we had a good lie-in in the morning and then had a quick breakfast before hitting the road again. It's always a pleasure driving through the countryside of France. There seems so little traffic compared to the UK and you go through some beautiful villages. Even if the sat-nav occasionally sends you down a street with a river going through the road. We've been through falls before and it's no problem with the van, but this time it's a bit too deep and I didn't want to risk it, so it meant reversing about a quarter of a mile back up the single track country road that we'd just come down. After that little escapade, it was time to find somewhere for lunch and let Max stretch his legs and have a bit of a run around. The weather was a little bit so we just wanted to keep moving really. Most of Western Europe that we've travelled through in the campervan have these great free airs, and this one was brilliant. It had a nice field for the kids and the dog to run around on. There was a small pen at the side with chickens, cockerels and baby goats in, so Martha treated them to a display of her amazing cartwheels while Jodie sorted out some breakfast. This really was a typically beautiful French village. It was really quiet. We had an absolutely fantastic night's sleep. But before long, Max was badgering us to get on the road again, so we did the waters, filled up, got a nice fresh tank of water, and then we were off again through the beautiful French villages and the countryside. We were making really good time, but then as we got to Bordeaux, the traffic just built up and we were at standstill and we lost a couple of hours. We hadn't planned on sitting in traffic for so long and it really affected the plans that we'd made to getting so many miles a day. So then we hit the toll roads, which was a slippery slope because we spent an absolute fortune. We'll tell you in part 2 of these videos how much we actually spent. It was really surprising how much it mounted up, but needs must, and it was necessary to make up the time that we lost. But before we knew it, we were on the fantastic roads of the Basque country. The Basque country is the area between France and Spain. It's a disputed territory and they like to be autonomous and have their own identity. One thing I do know is the place is absolutely stunning. We found an amazing park up on the top of some mountains. We weren't far inland from the coast and the air was so crisp and clean. It was absolutely lovely. And in the morning we got woken up with bells of a different kind. In the morning we were also treated to the most amazing display of wild roaming horses. The girls absolutely loved this and I must admit it was really beautiful to see in this setting. Once we were out the mountains we hit the autovia and made up some miles. Spain's got a fantastic road network, the infrastructure is really good and it's actually got the 3rd longest motorway system in the world. We arrived at our next stay over just as a lovely elderly French couple were leaving in their motorhome and they beckoned us in and told us to park in this space because it was sheltered by the trees. It was about 29 degrees when we arrived here, so the shade was definitely welcome, and this was a great park up because it was in the grounds of a swimming pool. So me and the girls went swimming and had an absolute blast, and it was an absolute bargain as well. Late in the evening the girls found some kittens that we fed and gave names to and fussed a lot before wishing them a very good night. We had a good night's sleep here and woke up to see house martins flying in and out of the building opposite and beautiful crystal blue skies and 24 degrees at 9 o'clock in the morning. Perfect. Before we knew it we saw our first sign for Bragança, which is just inside the Portuguese border. We crossed the river, got to Lidl, stocked up on supplies,